Hiya, Laurie here. Welcome back. I hope you're all doing well and looking forward to today's video, which as you can see is another pen pal with me video. Today I'm sending a letter to my friend Caris as it's her birthday, or it's coming up to her birthday. So I'm sending her just a short letter and a birthday card and a small present. I really hope it will get to her in time for her birthday, but it's in, I think, 2 weeks time, so hopefully I've not left it too late. But since it's a small letter, I'm going to use A5 sized pages, and I bought this beautiful notebook off Timu, I think it's pronounced, and every single page has beautiful rose designs, different rose designs on it, and some have lined paper, some have graph paper, and some have just blank sheets. So I'm actually looking out the ones that have either lined or graph on them so that I have a straight line to write on. And what I'm actually going to do is the ones that have, for instance, lined on one side and blank on the other, I'm going to attach two pages together so that there is lined on both sides essentially. And then I'm just tidying up because obviously I didn't get it perfectly in place. But yeah, so I'm just attaching them so that I have lined or graph paper to write my full letter on. And I'm obviously going to add a little bit of decoration. Even though these are already decorated, I still have to add my own sort of touch to them. So I'm just cutting out one of these labels. These are like a washi tape, but it's just labels. Unfortunately, you do have to cut them out yourself, so they're not kiss cut, but they're still pretty. So I've just popped one down there, and I've just written dear and the date, and then obviously I've got my calligraphy of her name on some sticker paper. So I'm just going to stick that down and make sure it's nice and glued down. It's not going to be like sticking up anywhere. And then I'm just grabbing my sticker books. So these are books that I've made with sticker release paper, and I've filled them with pet tapes. So I've cut out a bunch of different pet tapes, and this is where I stick all of them so that I actually use them. And I absolutely love these sticker books. I've never used my pet tapes so much. I'm constantly restocking it and using the stickers, because I'm constantly cutting out new ones, and because I'm still using them, I'm making more space, and it's just, I love it. I absolutely love it. I have so many beautiful pet tapes, and I was never using them because out of sight, out of mind, as they say. But now that they're at my fingertips, it's just so much easier to use them. So yeah, I'm just basically going through those books, and I have a few different styles or genres, I guess you could say, books. So I've got one that's just full of flowers, and then I've got one that's just bits and bobs, so anything that isn't flowers. And then I've got a couple that are people. So I've got two that are people, and that's what I'm looking through now to try and find a little girly to stick on the page. And I'm going for a sort of red and blue to go with the sort of book pages that I've picked, the notebook pages. So I'm kind of trying to stick to that red and blue sort of look, which is what I've written her name out in. I've written her name with the red ink, and then I've done a drop shadow of like a baby blue. And now I'm just going to go in and write my letter. Like I said, it's quite a short letter this time, as I'm not replying to a letter. I'm just kind of, I don't know, catching her up on things that have happened, wishing her a happy birthday, things like that. So it's only a few pages. It would probably only be like 2 pages if it was a normal A4 sized page. But because it is smaller, A5 pages, it did turn out to be, I think, 3 pages. But that's just because it was smaller. So I'm just adding little numbers so she knows what page is what. Because there's nothing worse than not knowing if you're in the right order or not when you have a letter that's several pages long. And then my letter is done. So just showing you one last little flip through of the decorations, and then I'm just going to fold it up and then pop it to the side and grab some of those pages and pop those to the side as extras for her as well. And I've just kind of left those connected to each other and put them into a sort of little signature. And obviously I've popped some of those labels excuse me, some of those labels to the side for her as well. And now I'm just looking for a couple of envelopes, one for my letter and one for the goodies. So I've grabbed 2 of these beautiful white envelopes, and I've also grabbed a tag which I'm going to cover in sellotape so that I can add my washi tape samples to that. Adding sellotape to the top of a piece of paper, well, not a piece of paper because that wouldn't work, but a piece of card, when you're doing a washi tape sample thingamabob, makes it so that the very last piece of washi tape does not stick to the paper. They will get the full use of the sample that you send because they won't stick completely to the sellotape. So I'm just going in and adding as many washi tapes as I can fit onto the tag, kind of keeping to the red pinky theme and the floral theme. And before I started this, I did check that the tag fit into the envelope, which it does, thankfully. But yeah, I'm using a lot of different graph tapes as that's kind of my favourite tapes to use when decorating. And I know that a lot of people like to use the graph tapes. So I've got like 3 different sort of pink coloured graph tapes. So I've just put in one each of those, and then a really, really pretty pink floral one, and then a couple of other sort of botanical styled ones. And then I'm also going to grab a couple of those thank you postal worker stickers that I like to use and pop those aside. And then I'm also grabbing things to decorate with, whilst also putting bits and bobs to the side as extras. So I'm just going to go in and decorate this first envelope, which is for the goodies, if I remember correctly. And I'm going to just basically, like I normally do, wing it and just put things down and see how I like it. I really like these little papers that look almost like vintage letters. So I'm using a couple of those to decorate with, and then obviously my washi tape dots that I just can't seem to decorate without. I think I use them in every collage. I just think they just bring everything together. I'm also adding one of my vintage styled, or antique styled labels, from the shop. And just basically, like I said, popping things down, seeing if I like it. If I don't like it, it doesn't go down. If I do like it, it does go down. And of course, my trusty washi tape to the rescue, as they say. So I'm just literally playing around and seeing what I like with the different washi tapes and everything. And I think I write on this goodies for you or something along those lines. So I'm just grabbing a girl sticker now, and I really wanted to bring some blue into the decoration or the collage. So this girl was perfect, but she has like a clear sticker, so I wanted to make her a bit more opaque. So I've put her onto just plain white paper and then cut her back out, and then I'm just going to stick her down with some Pritt stick, and that way she's just more visible, and you're not going to see the label beneath her. Whereas if I'd just left her as she was, she would have been kind of washed out by that dark brown on the bottom of the label there. So now I'm just trying to find a flower that isn't too massive. This box is actually for my larger flowers, but I do have the odd one that's smaller. So I settled on this rose since we've got a bit of a rose theme going on. And then this little box here kind of holds all my stickers that are lace themed. And the petals are actually randomly in there, and that actually reminded me that I have petal stickers. So I popped a few of those down as well. And that's the goodie envelope sorted. So now I'm just kind of grabbing the bits that I put to the side and adding to them to make a little pile of goodies to send to her. And I'm cutting bits off of the pet tapes. So this one's got different lace stickers on it, and then obviously some washi dots, and then some other pet tapes that I've got sitting on the desk basically, and obviously some more of those labels. And I'll just kind of add to this as I go. So I'm just going to grab a random selection of girl stickers, and I'm going to pop those in the envelope as well. And I'm not really sticking to like a vintage or modern, I'm just grabbing a random selection so that she's got some vintage, some modern, some see-through stickers, some opaque stickers, and then I'm doing the same with the flowers. I'm just grabbing a random selection of large, small, vines, roses, trying to stick to the theme somewhat, but at the same time give her a large selection of different flowers. So here I am writing out the questions in this or that sheet, and I actually forgot to hit play. I hit pause for some weird reason, so you only caught me finishing the end of that, but I just popped that inside the letter anyway, so it wasn't really anything interesting. It was just a post-it note really. So now I'm decorating the other envelope, which will hold the letter. And again, I'm just playing around with another one of those little squares that look like a vintage letter, and some labels and things like that. And I have this really cool pet tape that looks like it's got different collages of stamps on it. It's really cool. So I decided to pop some of that down on the white space that would still kind of be peeking through beneath the labels. And it looks like you've stamped yourself. You've stamped on the page yourself, because obviously it's clear. I got this from AliExpress as well, and it's just, I think it's really cool. And so I'm just going to add this big label, and then I'm going to put the smaller label on top, because I really don't actually need that size of a label to write down this is your letter. So I decided to kind of add a smaller label on top and just kind of layer it, because that's pretty much what collaging is just layering lots of different stuff on top of lots of different stuff. And then I decided to add some of this washi tape, which I absolutely love this washi tape. It just looks like script writing, and it just adds so much to a collage very effortlessly. I just think it's gorgeous, and because it is the white background, it looks like you've literally just scrolled on top of that envelope there. So now I'm going back through my sticker book and grabbing one of these very pretty girl stickers, and then just again searching for things that I think will look nice to kind of finish off this little collage. Oh my gosh, I hope you can't hear that screaming that's going on outside. So I ended up settling on this cool camera that's got like flowers and vines and stuff around it, and then I went in and added a few more flowers to the rest of the collage. And I don't think I actually added any washi dots to this one. After saying that I don't think I can collage without them, I don't think I actually added them to this one, so go me. But yeah, I really hope you can't hear that screaming in the background. There's kids playing outside. The school's just let out, so they're running riot. But here I am adding another label, because I figured this one was too big still. And this is actually one that I'd stamped myself a while ago, and I went in with my pens and just actually coloured in the little flowers that are surrounding what looks like a postage stamp. So I'm just colouring that in and adding the little details, and then I've written in letter, and then I'm just going to stick it down with some glue stick. And these glue sticks are so sticky. If you get the tiniest bit on your fingers, they literally stick your fingers together. It's crazy. So I've just popped my letter in there, and now I need a envelope to hold them both together, basically. And this would ordinarily be the envelope that I would put in the post and send off. However, because I am also going to be including her birthday gift, it will be put into a box and then a mailer's bag, so it doesn't actually have to be perfect, I guess you could say. I don't have to really leave that big a space for the address and stuff like that this time. This is really cool vintage newspaper that one of my pen pals sent me, and I actually used it when making her birthday card, and this was like a bit that was left over in my scrap bin, and I just think it's really cool, and it's really delicate and thin as well. And then I've got this book that's got lots of different copies of music pages, vintage music sheets, so I'm just tearing a bit of that off and popping it in the corner. I really like this effect, like doing this, especially with my envelopes, adding a little torn edge to the corners. I think it looks really pretty. So I've added another little bit up in the top hand corner, and then I'm just looking for a label. Even though I'm not going to be writing her address, I still like the label in the middle. I just think it kind of finishes it off. It looks strange to me without having that there. However, because I don't actually need to write her address, I've decided to also pop another label on top of it and just kind of layer it that way. And of course, I've got my washi dots. This label actually has something like Good Life or something written on it, which was one of the reasons I also wanted to put this label here, was to kind of cover that writing up. I don't know why it has that there, but I'm not a fan, so I wanted to cover it up. And I'm going to add in some graph washi tape, and then I'm going to look for some flowers. Again, I wanted to add some more blue because there isn't any on this envelope, so I wanted to bring the blue back in, so I'm adding some blue flowers to the bottom label, and then some sort of pinky flower, or a pink flower, to the other label corner. And then back into my sticker book, I'm looking through all my different ladies, looking for one that will match the theme and look nice in the collage that I've made. And I'm kind of flipping between different red ones and blue ones that I have, trying to kind of decide which one I prefer before I finally settle on a sort of purpley blue one, this girl here. And like normally I wouldn't actually be able to put anything in that corner because that's where the stamp would go, so I quite like the fact that I was able to do that. And then I also put this sort of like window cozy nook sticker down in the left hand corner, and then obviously her name as well on the envelope. And then we're done for the Happy Mail, at least. So now we can move on to her birthday. So this is the birthday card that I made her, and I really love how it came out. So I'm going to be popping it into one of these envelopes that I use in the shop. I really love these envelopes. They're really pretty, if I do say so myself. So I'm adding 2 holes with my paper punch, and then I'm also adding 2 eyelets to the front holes, and that way I can feed through some sari silk as a closure. So I'm just literally taking the sari silk and feeding it through the holes, and then I'm going to tie it into a little bow, and that is my envelope. And then for her present, I got her a wax seal kit thing. I will show you in a second. So it's got literally everything you need to kind of to start off your wax seal journey, I guess, including a gilding pen. And then I also included one of the rose gold wax furnaces from my shop, and I just think they're absolutely stunning. They've got it's like a metal filigree styled wax burner, and it's so pretty with the rose gold colour. I just think they're stunning. But moving on rather, I'm now taking some sari silk and I'm just tying it around the box, which I wrapped with gold tissue paper. And then I'm taking a cutting from my shop wrapping paper, and I'm going to wrap up the gold filigree wax burner, which, like I said, I do sell in the shop, which is always linked below if you want to have a gander. and then I just kind of tucked it in at the bottom, and then I'm going to take some Avril twine to wrap around this one rather than more sari silk. I decided to use this sort of pom-pom Avril twine, and it's just so soft and beautiful. But I then took a little tag and wrote happy birthday, and I popped a little flower at the bottom for decoration, and then I just tie it around the sari silk, but then I cut it too short and it untied somehow, and it was too short to tie it back up again, so I ended up having to add a little bit more Avril twine around that, and then I just left it. I didn't bother cutting it down shorter again. But that is the full Happy Meal. I hope you guys enjoyed watching me put it together. I know I absolutely love how it came out. I hope Karis loves her Happy Meal and her birthday gift as well, and I hope she has a wonderful day, and I'll hopefully see you all again soon. Take care and God bless. Bye.